Welcome to partialarc.com. Don't do that.
Do you want to hear a story? I'm not letting go.
Are you ready for this?
Follow your heart.
I'm going in!
This is
Blockbuster Smash Up!
Welcome to another episode of Blockbuster Smash Up. I'm your host, Jay Jones, and I'm joined, as always, by my co-host, Todd G11, and our special guests. Now, this episode, we're trying something a little different. We are switching around the format to see how it goes. For this episode, the guests, Todd and myself, all know what the two movies are going to be ahead of time, because instead of the surprise of what movie it's going to be combined with another, we're actually switching it up to see, of knowing the two movies ahead of time, what crazy log lines and pitches can each of us come up with. Now, none of the others knew what each other's pitches are, so we're still in a little bit of a vacuum there, but we're going to come to the table like producers in a studio setting and see what pitches go forward and what kind of crazy movie in a studio system we can create with these two films. So, without further ado, all right, let's meet our guests. Todd, who are with us for this episode?
We have Mel Marquez.
Yay.
Mel,
Hello,
welcome
Mel.
back.
Mel is
Thanks.
back. And we have CJ Woodring.
Hello.
CJ, how are you?
I am good.
Christopher Jordan Woodring.
What? I now know your full name.
Well, I have to kill
My
you.
power. I now
That
have
is such-
power over you.
I will do whatever you
Wait,
ask.
I think I missed. You said you were going to kill me?
What? Nothing? No. What? No. I'm doing whatever you want.
The fortunes were right.
Well, CJ and Mel, thanks for coming back.
Thank you.
And what's that personal question that we have, Jay?
Well, guys, the personal question is, what movie do you like to kind of cozy up to when you're going to bed, when you're about to fall asleep?
As a weird side note, I remember as a small child, what I went to sleep all the time to was some kind of, there was like Sesame Street, you know, would do like these little standalone, not even movies, but they're like VHS collections or something.
Sure,
Yeah, yeah.
And there was one that was like designed to put your kid to sleep, and it was
Really?
all the Sesame Street characters like doing their bedtime rituals and
Oh, that's
singing
adorable.
songs to
That's
you.
cute.
Oh, Count, what's his name? The Count would like count sheep and try and, you know, put
Oh,
you to sleep.
wait. I remember that.
Right? I think a lot of people watch this
Yeah.
and kind of remember it.
But we
all
were all
parents
asleep.
were like, you have got to
Yeah.
get this tape.
Yeah.
We were all
never
asleep
get to the
by
end
like
of it.
10 minutes in.
Right, yeah.
And then maybe it was just like it's in there, just it like seeps in there, you know. But
So
you start
I-
telling me a scene and I'm just like repeating all the lines, you know, like I know this. How do I know this?
Listen, I've seen this 500 times.
So I watch that every night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cute.
No, so
Still?
Still.
Oh, great.
Yeah, it still works. My girlfriend's learned to live with it.
Did you ever get to the end?
I have not.
We don't know what the twist ending is.
No.
Everyone dies.
But no, for real though, I like, especially if I'm sick or something and I'm not feeling well and I need to watch something just to, feel comforted. It tends to be Atlantis: Search for the Lost Empire.
Oh, the Disney movie?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the one that you and
I love
Andrew
that
told me to see.
Yeah, I was telling you, I was like, you
Yeah.
should see that movie.
That's
I
so
really
funny. That's great.
Yeah.
That's the second.
That's a great example of like, it is a very like, okay, like this movie like follows a what you'd expect, but it's like, it's interesting, but not like, it's not too crazy that it's going to keep me up.
No, definitely not. And like, yeah, I'm a huge adventure fan, and there's very few like adventure, and it's a little steampunky,
Yeah.
which you don't get a lot of. It's very few like animated adventure
That's true.
movies like that of that period.
Yeah.
and
no,
stuff.
but what about you, Mel?
Okay, I'm really gonna girly this up,
Go ahead.
but every single time it's on, and even when it's not, and I have it on DVR or whatever, is Love Actually.
Yeah, nice.
It's a great movie.
Because I'll
Nobody
wake up,
doesn't
I'll
like
keep
that movie.
waking up at the beginning part before all the REM sleep, and I'll get up like smile or laugh at something and okay, go back to sleep. But it
Oh,
was
Colin.
that. Oh, Colin especially.
Oh,
you,
Bill.
Colin Firth. Bill Nye is just amazing in that
genius.
movie.
You see, old man that would get hot girls.
That's true. I
Unlike
believe it in that movie.
Machete. Yeah,
Yeah, that's
like what we're
different
talking
though.
about.
That's different. That's Bill Nye.
Yes.
That's different. British men are like the opposite of like
Yes.
as they age they become sexier. Like
Agreed.
Bill Nye is at the peak of his ultimate sexiness.
That's funny. You're right.
Yep.
In his case, although I didn't know him as a young man,
Yeah.
I don't know what I would like to see pictures of him as a young man, but like I feel like he does
Wouldn't
kind
we
of.
all?
I feel like he does gonna get sexier. You know.
Well, guys, those were the personal questions.
We got very
Thank you for
personal.
sharing your very personal answers.
Yay.
And that'll be taking us to our game, Blockbuster Smash Up.
Smash, 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 smash up.
All right, in line with our new take on the Smash Up, everyone here at this point knows what the two movies are. And this time I got to pick the bad movie. Todd, you got to pick the good movie.
That's right.
And mine was Jason X.
And I still love that choice, man. And I chose Forrest Gump.
So with our new take here, we're going to explain the movies for any of the listeners who don't happen to know Forrest Gump and Jason X.
Yeah.
But we've all kind of prepared our own little log lines of what we think these two movies could make. But first, we should probably tell
And it's
the
like a
audience-
new little format we're
new
trying
format.
out.
Yeah, we're trying out.
Yeah.
So Todd, tell everybody about Forrest Gump.
Well, Forrest Gump, if you somehow haven't had television for the last 20 years and have been living under a rock and have never come out of that rock, I guess.
for rock people. For
Yeah,
rock people.
for the rock people.
But they love podcasts.
right.
And if,
Rock people have antennae.
if you've never eaten at a
Because of the
bubblegum shrimp,
headphones. It fits.
Yeah,
There
it
you
fits
go.
really well.
Yeah.
In the darkness, you can't see light, but they can listen.
And they're predisposed to like music because,
Of course.
rock. But anyway,
Oh boy.
Oh, that was horrible. Horrible.
That hit like
You
a
gotta
part
love
of my
it.
organs
You
that I
gotta
didn't know
love
were
it.
there.
Oh my god.
anyway,
Todd,
so
you're not stoned, are you?
Oh, the rock humor is going to be flying tonight.
Oh man, okay,
Todd, you're crushing it.
that was really funny. Okay, Forrest Gump is the delightfully semi-historically inaccurate story of
Like historically inaccurate,
Right.
Which could just be called fiction.
well, no, because because it's going through history.
Sure.
So it's not fiction, but it is historically inaccurate in many places, as many people who don't like the movie don't like. It's the story of a simpleton, essentially, who, through chance, leads an extraordinary life through some of the biggest moments of American history. He's the most unlikely person to kind of do this, but he somehow does, and people still don't believe him that he's done all these things. It's the story of a little Forrest who grows up in Savannah, Georgia, as the only child of what's her name?
Sally Fields.
Sally Field, yeah.
Yeah.
And basically, he grows up with, he has kind of a disability in his legs, and his spine is crooked, and his mother looks after this home, and the only friend that he has in this world, besides the love of his mother, is this girl named Jenny. And then right off the bat, he's meeting people. So he crosses paths right off in the beginning of the movie with Elvis Presley, and the movie insinuates that he teaches because of his strange leg, back, spine thing.
He teaches his leg dance.
He teaches Elvis his leg dance, and basically that kind of starts off the rest of this movie, where the through lines are the love relationship between Forrest and Jenny, and basically Jenny's the one that kind of sticks up for him and is on his side and everything.
It's
and
a very healthy romantic relationship.
and he's well, yeah, and he's endlessly devoted, to her and loyal, not hopelessly devoted,
Thank
but
you.
I knew you were again.
It's
and
not
then-
The
hopeless.
Olivia Newton-John thing.
Oh.
And basically the whole plot, he meets 5 presidents.
Yeah.
he
He kind of like Mary Sue's the
Yes.
1900s.
Yeah, it goes from the late 40s all the way to the
70s.
90s.
90s.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
That's right. It does go to the 90s.
It goes-
Even with
No, but he goes through the Vietnam War. There's a whole segment where he is in China playing ping pong for the USA, and it's just this crazy story of this guy who goes through all of history, and he witnesses such wonderful things. But at the end of the day, he's kind of a simple guy. He doesn't ask for much. All he wants in life is to be with Jenny, but he doesn't really seek her out. But they seem to keep falling into one another and being at the same place at the same time. And then, it gets real sad at the end.
And life finds a way.
It makes me cry, man. But yeah, along the way he meets Bubba, one of his best friends who dies in Vietnam. He meets Lieutenant Dan, who he saves in Vietnam, and loses his legs, unfortunately. And the two of them become, have a contentious relationship and friends throughout
Yeah,
life.
Lieutenant Dan and him own and start a very successful shrimping company.
Right. They have a Bubba Gump Shrimp. They have a stake in Apple.
Yeah, I forgot about
Because
that.
there's like that one great scene where he's just like, Lieutenant Dan told me I got a letter from Lieutenant Dan who told me that he invested in some fruit company or something, but he said we didn't have to worry about money no more. So I thought, good, one last thing. It's such a great film. It's so
is so
it's
good.
an epic romance about an idiot gallivanting through history, unaware that he is actually a major part or a small witness to all of the extraordinarily important things that happen throughout 5 different decades from like the 40s to the 90s. And it's wonderful.
Forrest Gump.
Yeah, Forrest Gump.
My movie, Jason X, a huge. I mean, really, it was a moment in time when the entire British Shakespeare Company, for the first time ever, got together and made a movie.
Man.
No. This movie is about Jason Voorhees, famous for his Friday the 13th movies. This is the 10th in the series, where Jason goes to space, is entirely the plot of the movie.
But how does he get there?
In like the 2200s, we have completely fucked Earth and people have left Earth and they're going back for like some expedition and they find a cryogenically frozen Jason on Earth at Crystal Lake and they bring him into space.
Really?
Because that's what you do.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. When they find a frozen guy in a hockey mask,
Yeah.
and they find out that his cells can like regenerate. That's like an interesting property about Jason is that they're like,
Oh,
maybe
so
we can
that's-
use this
okay.
technology. You're like, oh, this movie's great.
Well, no, I'm just surprised that it actually makes a little bit of sense. That's all.
Yeah. And they bring him onto a spaceship that I guess is filled with
Idiots.
and
Idiots and people who are about to have sex.
Like
So,
if
wait,
the
so you're
if the
explaining-
CW had like an FXX,
counselors.
it would be like
Oh
the
my
CWW cast of like. It looks like it was from a sci-fi TV show
So,
with
wait.
one episode.
no, let's be fair, Jay. It looks like a porn set.
It does look like a porn
Yeah.
set. The entire
Everyone
movie.
in that movie looks like they like
The porn
messed
never
up.
arrives, unfortunately, for the movie, but probably would have saved it. And basically, the plot is he just goes around and kills all these teenagers on this spaceship.
Wait, there's
They
nothing
also-
more?
They also have They also have a cyborg assassin on the ship
Oh,
that
there
gets
is.
into a great fight with Jason. It doesn't look dumb at all. And then by the end of the movie, he accidentally gets upgraded because of course he does.
Upload.
Oh yeah, sorry. They say like I think at one point they're like he got uploaded or something. It's like you don't even know the dumb sci-fi terms you're using in your dumb movie.
He's in the internet.
He's in the
What are we gonna
internet
do?
now.
The gigabytes.
If only we could hack him. And
Oh no, he's hacked us.
Oh, there's
to
the pun.
pieces.
The pun. I
Oh,
did it.
Very nice.
Oh my god.
Very nice.
you've just been hacked.
I saw you build that up.
That
It
was
was
very
a
nice.
perfect pun.
It's very nice. He at some point becomes Uber Jason, and
What?
yeah, he becomes Uber Jason, not Jason X. That's what they call him when he's upgraded. Is Uber Jason? Nobody ever calls him Jason X. The perfect time to call him Jason X would be once he is upgraded
Well,
or
it's supposed to
uploaded.
be, it's
sorry.
10. It's the 10th one.
Yeah,
so they, but
like
it is a
also
badass
Jason
name.
X
you're
is
right.
a badass. Like
it's a
that's
badass
like
name.
like
Yeah.
he's been.
It's a new name for Jason. Right.
But Uber X because he turns a little German. At the
He
end of the
turns
movie.
German?
Yeah,
And he drives for Uber X.
he does.
Uber,
He crash lands onto Earth and he starts a new business. Because in the post-apocalypse, I mean, you can't get a car. For the life of you.
Hello, space cadets.
You
It's
come into my
Uber
vehicle.
Jason. I have been uploaded.
Ooh, my log line changed significantly now. We have our two movies, a Forrest Gump and Jason X, and we're gonna go around. We are now put ourselves in a standard producer's or studio's office, and we're gonna go around the horn here. Because guys, we've got the money, we've got the properties. The big one, the one that cost us the most money was Jason X. We don't know why.
Right.
But Forrest Gump, we kind of got at a discount. But we can mash these two together because kids need high velocity entertainment. So what do you guys have? Who's ready to throw their log line out there first? Mel?
I wrote mine down.
Oh, nice.
I didn't want to forget it because
Nice.
I had fun with this.
What is it?
So my log line, I have Forrest Voorhees meets up with all the major killers throughout cinematic history and space and foibles their
Space.
plots.
To be clear, all the killers of space. Thanos is going to get
Everything.
foibled.
Oh my god.
On Earth and in space. And
Jason.
then foibles their plots to kill.
Amazing.
Jason meets up with space.
Yes. Oh, no, Forrest Voorhees.
Forrest Voorhees.
Forrest Voorhees.
Yes.
Very nice.
Just rolls
Very
off
nice.
the tongue.
It does. Bleh.
Oh my
Who would like to
God.
go next?
I'll go next.
Oh, yeah. CJ.
Okay.
Fire away.
All right. So my pitch is that there's a young, mentally handicapped young boy with a big heart whose one dream is to go to space.
Oh, nice.
And through a government-sponsored program, his legs are fixed with nanobots to
Nice.
to allow him to, through maybe a Make-A-Wish type scenario,
Sure.
to become an astronaut and live out his dreams. And once on the space station, the origin of these nanobots, which they keep on the space station to get nanobites from, the host or the source of them wakes up, which is Jason Voorhees.
Oh.
And now the only other person with bionic abilities has to square off against. I didn't write mine down, so that's really like
Awesome.
poorly
That's
worded.
awesome, though. That's cool.
Kid who gets his dream turns into a nightmare.
That's nice.
Todd, do you have yours?
I need to formulate the sentence in my head for a
I
second.
can say mine.
Okay.
So my log line is in the future, the ultimate killer is brought loose on a spaceship, but they must find the killer's ultimate foil is someone who can run away. So they look into the history books and find the ultimate runner to face against the ultimate chaser.
Oh my God.
Lieutenant Dan's long lost relative, Colonel Dan, remembers the ancient books that his great-great-grandfather had of a man who was frozen, and they bring him back to fight Jason.
Nice.
Holy
to run
shit.
away from Jason.
To run away from
run
Jason.
away.
To wear him down.
Wear him down. I like it.
War of attrition.
Wow. Jesus. I was gonna say something like a simpleton accidentally happens upon scenes of every major crime that's in every single horror movie and accidentally is involved in like all of the horror film franchises that have occurred throughout time for 5 decades.
So he like Back to the Future 2's every scene in like horror movies?
Just keeps like walking into these like horror films and either becoming part of the movie or causing the kill accidentally. I guess we could relegate it to specifically the Friday the 13th movies. But yeah.
He mostly hangs out in houses and Crystal Lake.
Yeah, but he doesn't know, he's unaware that he's like affecting he's unaware that he's even involved in any of these movies. In fact, if you
He's
look
just
very
standing there
hard,
eating chocolate.
if you look really hard in every single Friday the 13th, like Forrest Gump is like in the background.
He's the only kid. He's the only kid that keeps returning to Crystal Lake every year for summer camp. They're like, man, we're so surprised. This one kid just keeps coming back. He never realizes all the other kids die.
That's it. Forrest Gump is the only.
He's the only one that survives and never realizes anything bad happened.
The only camper that keeps coming back to Crystal Lake, even through its name changes, through its closings, every summer shows
He's
up.
now 40, and he still comes back to Crystal Lake.
That's his favorite week is every summer at Crystal Lake, and he doesn't understand why everybody's only interested in sex, and I guess the ones that have sex get sent home, because
they all go off to some
they don't
cabin to
exist
have sex,
anymore,
and he's like, I'm gonna stay in here,
and they don't
play
come
with
back.
Yep.
Oh my god.
All right,
So what do we do now?
All the log lines are on the table. So we've got we've got Forrest through time, foiling villain plots.
Whoa.
We've
space.
got disabled kid with robot legs fights Jason on a spaceship.
We've got running
We've
boy,
got running boy who just runs away from Jason on a
Tires
spaceship.
him out.
running man.
And then we have the greatest horror hits featuring Forrest Gump in the background.
That's right. Forrest Gump does the hits.
Now, guys, we got to be looking at our 4 quadrants here because we are making a blockbuster film. So what do we think is going to hit the ultimate 4 quadrant?
Well, camp, I think, definitely has to be in there, because
Yes.
camp movies
Yeah.
do well.
Camp movies do well.
Everyone's been to, some people
I mean,
have been
all
to
the
camp.
franchise camp movies that are out these days are just destroying it.
Listen, here's the chart. Some people have been to camp, therefore, everyone likes
Everyone has
camp
been to
movies.
camp, yes.
Exactly,
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But even on this, he goes and visits all of those people. He goes back in time to do so we could go to all the campsites, all of the horror films that take place in camps.
All of the famous all the
camp.
historical campsites.
Campsites.
Well,
yes.
okay, so camp has to be in it. Do we like Forrest Gump as a killer or Forrest Gump as a foil for the killer.
I like him as hapless foiler
Yes.
of
Because that's
killer's
kind of
plots.
more Forrest Gump,
Gump,
right?
yeah.
that
very
he's
much.
like, I like that he's like accidentally, maybe he's like the unwitting hero of the
Yes.
story, where he's accidentally
Like he
messing
turns,
up.
He turns on the lights after they've gone off, and everybody sees who the killer is at the beginning of the movie.
and then he's about to hack somebody, and then they're like, "Look behind you, John!" And he's like, "Oh no!" Okay, all right,
It's
okay,
all
good.
horror movies ending pleasantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Within 10 minutes.
What about space? How are we going to deal with the whole space problem? Are we going to have it in
point.
space? Is it in the future? What are we doing?
I
here?
like the idea of doing all the space horror, but I'm just trying to think. It gives us less ground to cover
because
it's, just
it's not on Earth and it's
narrower
not Earth history anymore, right?
to play with.
We could start where it's in space and then come down to Earth and
Yeah.
deal with things on Earth, right?
or we climax with space.
or
because
we,
he's been a child who's always wanted to go to space.
oh,
There you
like
go.
your
and
thing, your
There
thing,
you go.
yeah.
Okay.
thing
All
with
right.
his leg, because then that also he
Yes.
feels he's special because his mom always told him he was special. So did everybody else.
Nice,
Uh-huh.
nice.
And so, but that has always been his plan. So everything he visits, everybody he meets, he's trying
to
to
get to
build
space.
up on.
So
trying to go to
Okay.
I
space.
think this kid got famous as a child because he solved so many murder serial killers accidentally. Like he's like a kid in this local town, and they're like, Forrest, he's the one that foiled that the machete killer, the dream killer, the guy who wears a William Shatner mask killer. Like he foiled all of these plots just
Yes.
by showing up and like accidentally knocking the killer over and then getting killed or getting arrested.
So he's
love
like
it.
the incidental Sherlock.
He's like a boy detective.
Yes.
He's like a
There
boy
you go.
detective, basically.
But,
of a
but
small
when,
town.
if you ask him, you're like, "Oh, can you help me with this case?" He's just like, "Chocolate."
Yeah.
Like he doesn't
like,
know
what do I
that-
do?
Yeah. Soils the
Yeah.
case. So I think we combo all of this.
Basically, we have a story of two astronauts, Forrest Gump and Jason Voorhees, are trying to get to space. One's evil and one's good.
Yep.
And NASA's like, we have to accept every applicant if they've filled out the right criteria and they meet the requirements. And Jason is unkillable.
Yes.
He can take any tolerance of environment.
Yep.
He is apparently smart. Like they put him in like an actual test and they like, his grades are through the roof. Nobody ever talked to him. They just thought he was a killer. I mean, he's obviously tried to kill most of our staff already, but if we keep him contained, we think he's going to be a great astronaut.
He could survive on other planets.
And they're like, there's only one other person they can put up against him
Yep.
to be like proven like who can be the best astronaut for this next mission.
Boy Detective Forrest Gump.
Boy Detective Forrest Gump.
Who has the nanobites in his legs that helped him.
They enhance his
they
running.
enhance his legs, yes.
So the movie.
Enhanced Boy Detective
Enhanced
Forrest
boy
Gump.
detective. There you go.
So I think
Are we in the future?
Uber Forest.
Uber Forrest.
I think we are.
I
in
am
the future.
Uber Gump.
I think we are in the future.
are
We're
in the future.
exploring Jupiter.
We're in the future, and there's a space camp.
There's a space camp.
Okay.
To test who is like going to be able to take the most terrible of environments. And they've got like the ultimate tester to test the astronauts. Maybe Jason doesn't want to. Maybe he doesn't want to go to space. He's just their test that they use on astronauts. Like if you
To
can
see if they can
survive,
survive.
if you can survive a night in space camp with Jason Voorhees, you can go to space.
Oh my God.
I like that.
Guys, in the future, NASA's really hurting for entertainment. So they're like, it would be funny to put all these smart people in a camp with a fucking
Just
maniac.
dystopian space
Oh
camp.
my gosh, that can tie into the message of our movie of like, it's so hard sometimes to convince people the worthiness of space travel and to fund NASA and those kind of the problems we're having today.
So Hunger Games it.
Right, so
Yeah.
that's what they figure out. It's like, well, people love reality TV or
People
whatever,
love
so
death.
They loved Hunger Games. Come
yeah,
on.
so they
That's true.
funded it with a slasher TV
Like,
show.
what are we
that's
going to
real.
do with this super crazy unkillable monster? I guess we'll just have him hang around in this space camp.
And but they
Killing
realized
contestants.
that all these contestants were dying, and then they needed somebody because they're like nobody's watching anymore because they're just tired of seeing everybody just getting hacked and killed. Who can we find? And we find the boy
I think
detective.
I think he finds them.
Yeah.
He just wanders in and
Wanders
he's
in.
just like, "Oh, is this I was here for a candy bar."
Yeah.
And they're
He just
just
shows
That
up. They
machine
think they think he's on the application because
Right.
the American kid got killed on the way there.
Yeah.
So like he fills in. They're like, oh, is this the kid that represents America?
I
Okay, all right,
guess.
fair
Yeah.
enough. We'll sign him in. Oh, the kid that represents Georgia. All right, we'll sign him in.
Mom always said you're in the right place if you've got the right time.
So this is
It's
America's.
12:30.
This is America's Hunger Games to find out who can make it to space.
and Forrest Gump accidentally just wanders in and is
Yep.
become the top candidate that they just think is going to be cannon fodder. You know, it's kind of like with reality TV. It's the guy is singing really poorly, you know, or like, it's the audition that didn't go very well. They're just like, oh, it's this guy's going to
Willie Hung and whatever
right. This guy's going to be, you know, really terrible. Let's keep him, you know.
So
yeah, he's the William Hung of.
I love that every activity in this space camp, though, that is like activities that require like memorization or activities that require like inserting the right codes, also always have the element that a man with a machete might come in and kill you at any time. Like, while you're on a space station, you never know while you're inserting these key codes that a man might
have to be
stab
under
you with
pressure.
a machete.
You have to be under pressure at all times.
They found Jason as the ultimate pressure tester.
That's how they justify it. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's really about the numbers.
It's really the entertainment. It's the ratings.
It's that we like seeing someone under pressure. We also like seeing someone die, and we also like seeing people get to go to space.
What if this is the added thing? What if they always keep touting like, oh, if a contestant ever makes it to the end, we'll send him to space. Like we'll resurge the NASA program. We'll send him to space if anyone ever makes it to the end, and nobody ever does. So they get to keep making this television show and never pay it off.
They keep getting money.
And like, there's people out there being like, we want to go to space. It's like, well, we're giving them the chance. Just no one can beat this unkillable death demon creature. Oh my god. So Forrest wanders in and he like starts winning these competitions while dodging Jason.
And everyone thinks that he's a genius, right?
Yeah,
because
they just think he's some kind of savant. Now, the person who's in the control room, who's running the TV show, one of them starts to fall for Forrest, and this is one of the head commanders, Commander Jenny. And she starts to fall for Forrest, and she, you know, it's a little bit like the Truman Show where she starts to turn, being like, this isn't right, after I don't know how many seasons of killing innocent people on a NASA space camp. But
Commander Jenny in her dark past.
Yes.
So at certain point we have to get down to like 3 contestants and Jason. What is like one of the final tests these astronauts must complete?
Okay, so one of the lieutenants that comes through is Lieutenant Dan.
Of course. Okay.
Who comes through, but Jason ends up hacking him at the knees.
Yes, of course.
And so he doesn't die, but he's put on the sidelines and he's there to help Forrest get through all of this. So he's like
his Haymitch from Hunger Games.
It's like, I'm just letting you know what's going to happen next because I already went through all of this and what to prepare for and what to worry about. And Forrest,
when you're in the centrifuge and you're spinning around real fast, he's going to come out of the ceiling. Just like, try to dodge
your
it.
Foot out so it trips him.
There you go.
So that he can't get you.
I love that in a lot of these scenes, like Jason, since he can regenerate, like dies horribly in a lot of these. Like the centrifuge is like a blender and just spins him around.
Exactly.
In a few hours he'll be fine, but he just like
stick to the bottom of the floor. If you lay down on the ground, he'll just fly up and start spinning,
just smacking against the walls. Just this like lighthearted like comedy surrounded by just absolute horror.
And Bubba's the cafeteria guy.
Yeah,
who only knows how to serve shrimp.
He only serves shrimp, and he keeps like every day. He's like he has like a really dramatic like conversation. Like, every day I'm in here serving shrimp, and every day I hope you're here to take some of my shrimp, Forrest.
Galactic shrimp.
And Forrest asks him how much shrimp, what type of shrimp. He goes, everybody doesn't want to eat, this. He goes, can you make any other type of shrimp? And it's like the light bulb goes off and he becomes this like great chef of shrimp.
And the commercials in between the NASA Space Camp Death TV shows start to be the Bubba Gump Shrimp commercials start coming up in between. Sponsored by Bubba Gump Shrimp.
Vertically integrated situation here. Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a comment. It's a comment on the world of
So
TV.
I think the final piece is they realize they have to send him to space. So there's one last mission. He has to get through the launch. Yes. But they've never gotten here before, so their security protocols aren't as good. Yeah. And I think Jason breaks into the control center where like Jenny is and the rest of the people are. And Forrest realizes for the first time he's got to stop running.
Oh, I think it's that they don't want that he's like getting down to the wire, and they don't want him to go to space because then they would have to pay for it.
They would have to fulfill this promise.
Yeah. So they basically they create one last room or something that they want to do. Have to
scenario
and then yes, I think Jason definitely. So it's like a death arena that it's like they're never gonna make it out of this alive. Yeah. Like there's no fucking way that they're gonna
at that point like they barely can hide it's like an activity.
Exactly.
They're like sometimes in space you run across death arenas. Fuck it, just survive.
Yeah, it's exactly exactly. It's like a death obstacle course that they have to like get through, and also Jason is there. Except they put everyone through the death obstacle course, but Jason is nowhere to be found because he's broken into the control room.
Yes.
And Jenny, I think, escapes, but she escapes into the death room.
Yep.
While all of the other people are just dying upstairs because fuck those guys.
Of course.
All of our intrepid heroes, Lieutenant Dan, Bubba, Forrest, and now Jenny have to like go through the death, aerobics course or whatever.
And Jason is chasing him through. They get out of the death arena, but they know there's really no exit except up. Forrest, you've been training for
weeks.
I know, not really, because I'm going to be honest, most of these activities have nothing to do with space. But Forrest, the only way we're going to get out of this is if you fly that goddamn rocket ship. And Forrest has to get in. Okay, Jenny. And he gets in the rocket ship. And I think the final moment is Jason, trying to climb up the, the rocket exhausters at the bottom, and he fires it at the right moment, and it just melts his mask and his face and shoots off into space.
And then I think there needs to be a later scene, a postscript scene, where basically they're in space now, okay? Mm-hmm. And I think someone sets up, I guess maybe they have like, it's the future, right?
Yeah,
so
of
there's a whole medical bay on the ship.
Yeah.
I think like, nanites create legs for Lieutenant Dan.
Mm-hmm. Nice. There's like unnecessary rooms because again, they didn't make this really for travel. It was just for like posterity. Like, of course they're going to fly in this when they finish.
Bubba opens up a shrimp sushi restaurant, and he's like, becomes I think these are postscripts. He becomes like the sous chef of the
it's like the end of like Breakfast Club, where it has like the bottom, and he went on to be a mayor.
Bubba went on to be the galaxy's greatest sushi chef, but only serves shrimp. So Lieutenant Dan gets new legs. New legs, Lieutenant Dan.
And it's just him roller skating somewhere. The ultimate use of legs.
And then Jenny and Forrest, I think, get married
in space,
and then
fly
in
off.
Zero gravity. It's a zero gravity ceremony.
You know where they get married?
Shit is just everywhere.
You know where they get married?
Where?
You know in the fountain that he's like in that orb with the tree.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's in that one.
It's that orb, but it's
that orb.
It's that tree from like back home that they used to sit on or whatever.
So they bring it into space.
Yeah, they bring it. They get.
I would like if you could take my tree and put it into space.
What is that?
It's a little Bill Clinton-esque.
A little bit.
Bill Clinton was like British or something.
What?
I would like for you.
I would like if you could take that.
A little John F. Kennedy.
Pretty John F. Kennedy, yeah.
That's weird.
Which is appropriate.
Yeah.
True.
Jenny, want to get married under this space tree.
And then of course after credits, like we have to see a shot of
Jason
like clinging to just he appears and you're like dun dun dun, and then you cut to nothing.
Yeah, and he's just like
Jason
floating. His pieces are like coming together in space, just like they're sort of drawn to each other. He like reaches a hand out to the their orb, the tree orb.
Yeah, I think you have, it's like life is like a box of chocolates. You'll never know what you're gonna get. And you see him set it down like on a table, and then the hand shoots up through the chocolates for some reason.
You never know when you're gonna die.
Yep.
That's the tagline.
That's
life is like a box of chocolates. You never know when you're gonna die.
What's the name of our movie? Is
I'm
it
never
just
buying boxes of chocolates again.
Never.
That's terrifying.
What is the name of this? Space Gump.
Gump X?
That man's some kind of space gump.
Wait, Gump X?
Gump X. You have to do Gump X.
Gump
Come
X.
on. Because they never say that. They will never say
That's
it.
so funny. Oh yeah, when does he become Uber Gump?
Uber Gump.
He's like some kind of Uber gump. No one's ever
That's
lasted
what they
this
say
long.
in the
one's ever
control
gumped
room
it.
when
Yeah.
he can't get killed by anybody. He's
Yeah.
like this Uber Gump.
No one's ever gumped as hard as this
Somebody's
guy's
pulling
gumped.
a file out of a drawer. He's like, well, you say that, but there was a prophecy years ago about it. About a Gump X, but we closed that program. We didn't believe it was true.
The Gump X program? It's been reopened?
It's been reopened. This is the one candidate that survived the experiment.
That's the sequel where it's a crossover with X-Files.
That's true.
With Space Files.
Ooh.
I like it.
Space Files.
Nice.
Wait, what about an X-Files, but they're in space?
I mean,
I
yeah,
would
Space
watch that
Files.
so hard.
But then...
But would it be
Isn't that
like
crazy?
Would it
Like,
be
think
like
about it.
alien
That's what I'm saying.
mythology?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Like-
So would it be like
Right,
it would be like aliens on another planet being like, "Do you think humans are real?" No,
Yes.
Never.
no.
They've never seen them. They've
Yes.
never been to our planet. It's like, come on.
If the real opposite would be everybody's like, yeah, like humans exist, they're on Earth, and one human and one alien is like, I don't believe they're real.
I want to believe.
I want to not believe.
Oh my god.
It's gonna be it's syndicated. It's gonna make
Mulder.
like 9
So
seasons.
you are alone.
You are alone.
You are. Let's see. That's okay.
We're
So this has been a good meeting.
It's been a good meeting, guys.
I think that's
First
the
off-
next. First off,
Yeah.
on the agenda for next week is Space X Files.
Space X Files for sure.
Which is
let's
SpaceX
let's roll that
on
out
the
into a
file,
series.
yeah.
Where do we think that's gonna fit? CW, CBS,
Fox.
for sure.
Definitely.
This
Fox.
way we can cancel it right away if it doesn't
Yes,
work.
exactly.
So, but guys, Gump X.
But Gump
I think
X,
it's gonna be huge.
I think we need to
Who's
just
gonna
move
be
forward.
our Forrest?
Interesting.
Who's gonna be? We gotta get. Now we can't get Tom Hanks again, unfortunately, unless we want to CGI his face.
They did that with that Robert Downey Jr. movie.
did it with the Robert Downey
the
Jr.
Civil
movie.
War. They
Well,
made him a
Civil
young
War.
person.
Get his son?
That's true.
Ooh, we could get Tom Hanks' son.
Oh,
True.
Colin.
Colin
Colin
Hanks.
looks just like his
Let
dad.
me call him up. I think.
Yeah, you got Colin's number. Perfect.
Yeah, I do.
Who are we
Is
gonna get to
Colin
play
Colin?
Jenny?
Because Robin Wright can actually play young still.
Right.
No, I haven't seen her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. No,
You know
not
what?
to say we have her as Jenny.
Screw
but
it,
yes.
Robin Wright. So we've got Robin Wright. And
All
we've
right,
got
so we got
Colin
Robin
Hanks.
Wright.
Who's going to be? I mean, we got to have Jason. Now, is Jason? I'm thinking now, guys. He's working on Aquaman right now, but I think Jason Momoa would make a pretty
that'd be
hot
good.
Jason.
I like
so here's
it.
the thing now. Horror's kind of hot these days.
Yes.
I think we get a hot Jason.
So the
Ooh, that's a
women fall
ticket.
in love with him.
There we go.
There you go.
There we go.
And they'll go see the movie.
Does he have to wear a mask?
I think he shouldn't wear a shirt
or like the Phantom mask where it's only
half his face.
That's kind of cool.
I think that's
Mysterious.
a wonderful idea.
yeah.
Mysterious
But-
on one side. You don't know what's on the other side.
Exactly.
It
I
could
wanna
be,
know.
Yeah, right. It could be a party over there. You know, who would know?
It's like a mullet. Party on the side of his face.
Party on one side. It's clown makeup underneath that mask.
So we got the who else?
Who's
Bubba.
our villain? Who's running this NASA space camp?
I think Stanley Tucci. I don't know why.
Ooh,
Ooh, nice.
I kind of like an evilStanley Tucci.
Right.
Yeah.
He's
Nice.
kind of like
An evil Tooch.
It's. I tell you, I got an evil Tooch. I can't get rid of it. No, but it's kind of like the Ed Harris character in you mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
Truman Show.
Truman Show, yeah.
Where basically he plays that character. He seems really nice, but he's actually a conniving asshole.
We haven't done Lieutenant Dan or
Ooh,
Bubba.
who are we casting as Lieutenant
Oh,
Dan?
yeah.
Lieutenant Diane.
I'm going to say right out the gate, Chadwick Boseman, if we can get him for Bubba.
Oh,
He's crushing
yeah.
it these
Ooh, there you
days.
go. Okay.
Chadwick.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman, if we can get him.
If we can get
If we can get him.
Get him.
big if Jay.
I know.
Yeah.
He's doing Black Panther right now. He is crushing it.
Yep.
But who are we getting for Lieutenant
He's
Dan?
doing Black
Can we
Panther
just get
7.
Gary Sinise again?
He's probably still great.
Probably
He'll
available.
Still do it.
Is he still alive?
I think he is.
Yes,
he is? Okay, so
Yeah.
we
I
should
think
call
he's
him.
available.
Yeah, we'll call him.
Yeah.
We'll call him.
All
If
right.
not, maybe Michael Fassbender.
Ooh, I like
Nice.
a.
All right, CJ, I'm putting you in charge of those.
Okay.
Yeah, you're in
finding
charge of
out.
casting.
Yeah, I'll call
Nickel
Mike.
Fast, I like. That's
Okay.
good.
Mike.
Okay.
Okay, so that I mean,
that rounds up most of our
we had
cast.
one tagline that was
Yeah.
What was the tagline,
It's-
Mel?
Well,
Mama-
since we're not using Forrest Voorhees, we actually have both Forrest and
We do.
Jason. We're doing Mama always said, life is like a horror film. You never know who's going to die next.
Yeah.
Ooh, I love it.
excellent.
That's going to sell. I mean, we got to bank on at least about $1 billion
Yeah.
globally, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
This is going to be huge.
bank on
Easily. We'll put it in 3D. That'll be fine.
And
yeah.
it.
Make our money
Gump
there.
X. in
now, who do we get to
3D.
direct?
Gump X.
Gump X. Guys,
Gump X in real
very
life.
successful producer meeting.
Gump X IRL.
And because of that, that's going to take us to our game. Marry, fuck, kill.
Marry, fuck, kill, marry, fuck, kill, marry, fuck, kill.
All right, this is our game, Marry, fuck, kill. This is where Todd will name 3 similar movies, and we'll have to decide which movie we would marry, which movie we would fuck, and which movie we would kill. Todd,
Yes.
what are our 3 movies?
Okay, we're going with Space Disasters.
Ooh,
Space disaster
like
films.
Jason X?
Like Jason X. That's a meta joke there. It's a space disaster. No, okay, so 2001, A Space Odyssey,
Okay.
Nice.
Gravity, and Apollo.
The physical
yes,
force?
the physical force.
Okay, great.
And Apollo 13.
All right. Ooh, one of those has Tom Hanks in it.
Hey! Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks. Does anyone have their Marry, fucks, and kills?
I think I would fuck Gravity.
You can try.
Fuck it.
You can try,
All
but it's
those
strong.
forces tugging on everything.
Listen, it's all about listen, like what goes up must come down, right? So you just
Ho.
yeah, there you go.
Hey,
There you go.
Oh.
Sex is all about
oh, it's Interstellar. Never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because it's a great fun ride, and Sandra Bullock still looks great.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd want to spend my whole life with it. It's just like
Just orbiting
it's just
the
like
Earth
a
in
Just
a
light-
orbiting
space
Earth by
trash.
yourself with Sandra Bullock.
It's just like a light, fun movie that I'd like to have a one night with and be like, all right,
That makes sense.
That's good.
It's roller coaster.
I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would have to. It's such a hard choice with the other two. I think I'd have to marry Apollo 13 because that's what you said, right?
Yeah.
Because
I did say
it
that.
just warms my heart, and
Sure.
like if I'm looking for a life partner, like that's the kind of connection I want
Yeah.
to have forever.
It's very warm. You're right.
Which means I have to kill 2001, which sucks to say, but just because if I'm choosing between the intellectual lifelong stimulus of that movie versus just like I'm a sap, so I'd rather have somebody that
Hey, man.
we can cuddle together rather than have long intellectual discussion.
Hey, sometimes it's all you need.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you just need to get in there and unscrew those data banks.
Oh,
And regularly you get to watch Tom Hanks pee into space.
that's fun for a laugh.
Hey, Gary Sinise is also in that movie.
No.
That's right.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. It's
That
great.
was like the running joke when it came out.
I
Going,
forgot. Yeah.
So
These
is
guys
it
are
Forrest
in all
Gump
the
in space?
same movie.
But they were like, well, let's make him the guy that doesn't go.
Yeah.
Because we
yeah.
can't have them in the same
No.
room. I mean,
No.
come on.
He would just turn around and go, Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan, I can't open the data bank.
Oh, God. Okay.
Todd, do you have yours?
Yeah, I think I'm going to do a variation on yours. I'm going to marry Apollo 13
Oh,
also
very
because, yeah, you're right. It's just a lovely movie. And, it's such a harrowing movie for a period of time of it. It's like, breathtaking or whatever. A lot of things might go south in the marriage, and it might be hard to slingshot around the moon per se and come back to the love hearth that is the Earth.
Oh.
If we're going to extend
Ooh,
the
love
metaphor.
hearth. I like that.
But at the end of the day, it's worth it because all of the people in your life and it works out, and it's like it's a good terrible adventure to go through kind of thing, because your life is gonna be filled with terrible adventures, right? That's what life's all about, terrible adventures. Marriage, the next terrible adventure. And then I think I'm gonna fuck 2001
Ooh, why would you do that?
because that just sounds great. Because a few things happen in that movie. Insane things happen in that movie. It's epic. It's really long. It spans the entirety of like human existence and beyond. And that's kind of why I want my sexual experience.
It's a long
to be.
sexual experience.
Like marathons.
You're going to get a bit chafed.
Where at the end, I'm not really sure what happened, but I think I might believe in God now. I'm not really sure. That's
yeah,
what
you're
I
going to
want
take
at the
like
end.
drugs halfway through it.
That's
It's
right.
going to be crazy.
There's a Stargate sequence that I'm seeing lights, I'm an old man in a bed. There's a big block that's before me. This is what I want.
Who
in my
hasn't had
sex
that
life.
fantasy?
Right?
Old man in a bed with a big block.
Victorian furniture, an old man in a bed. That's like all what I want.
Does sound like a weird part of the internet that no one knows about.
There should be these sex parodies.
What does it say? Do you like Victorian furniture, black obelisks, and old men? All right, I'll click on it.
And then that means I have to kill gravity because as great as a roller coaster as that movie is, if you actually think for 1 second that any part of that movie would be fun, that movie is fucking terrifying. If you were actually involved in that situation, that is the most terrifying situation you could ever have. And I don't want to have sex while spinning around Earth at 700 and however, I don't know how many miles per hour, where at any point pieces of shrapnel could be like decapitating me or my partner, as even though that partner could be either George Clooney or Sandra Bullock.
Or a ghost Clooney, too.
George Clooney before or after he dies, and maybe or may not be a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Very true.
right. So
No.
that's my deal.
Mel, do you have yours?
So I've never seen Gravity. Thank you.
Oh.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to see it. But so I'm going to start with that one.
Yeah.
I would definitely, just by the trailers I've seen, would kill them to put them out of their misery.
Fair
Because it
enough.
seems from all the trailers that they're just either suffocating or whatever it is.
Lots of spinning.
So, a lot of spinning, and it drove me crazy.
But that's life.
space.
That's life,
That's
man.
life. So I would kill them.
We're all just spinning around.
But we'll start with the Mary. Go to the Mary next. I'd actually go back to marrying Apollo 13, just because, sitting at home in the kitchen barefoot. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to say that out loud. It would be nice being barefoot, having kids in the kitchen.
What?
Oh.
Nice woman's feeling.
Oh.
Oh, we're not in the meeting anymore.
Oh, okay. Oh, phew. So, no, but
we were just like, what? Why?
No, but being in that scenario, I think it was idealistic as a marriage
Sure.
thing, and it's I like that, and that would also mean to
Fuck 2001 Space Odyssey.
Because hell, come on,
Right?
why not?
Yeah.
That voice.
Open the pod bay doors, Hal.
Exactly. I love it.
Open. Never mind.
The soundtrack
works.
Hey, it has a great soundtrack.
So, for my marry, fuck, kill, I would be similar to you, CJ. I would marry Apollo 13 because it's just so
I
damn.
think I made a mistake with putting Apollo 13 in there.
It's just
Yeah.
so
Hard
damn.
to-
It's
You
so
have to.
heartwarming. I mean,
Yeah.
wow, how could you not?
Oh, well.
I mean, I would love to just stay. I could stay up in that spaceship with those dudes and just that'd be a great marriage. They're all just a great bunch, having a good time, making discoveries in space.
Absolutely.
Very momentous.
That's a nice home if you
It is
were
a
to
nice
make
home.
that a home.
It's like kind of like 3 men and a baby sort of.
Except there's no
situation in
baby and
space.
they can't make one.
That's true.
And it's just 3 men and they're having.
Well, they're scientists, Todd. Maybe they'll put their minds together.
Yeah, nature finds a
create
way.
a
you know?
baby.
Nature finds a way.
That's how space works, right?
Yes.
Sometimes you get babies, sometimes you get asteroids.
So you just want a polyamorous relationship.
I just want a wonderful
with
marriage in space
3
with a bunch of
astronaut
smart ass
men in
astronauts.
space.
Hell yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and I mean,
I
who wants
support.
to hang out in zero gravity? That sounds like fun to me.
I raise my hand
High five.
on the radio.
Yay.
For me, I mean, I would also fuck gravity because that soundtrack is just very pulsating. The energy and Russian satellites turn me on, man. I don't know what to say. I was like in the movie
Russian
theater. I was like, oh my
satellites.
god, is that a Russian satellite?
Russian satellites and communications with Inuit, kids.
Yeah.
Sure.
And barking dogs.
That too. And I mean, Ghost George Clooney's. Do I need to say more?
Yeah. Sorry, Mel.
It's okay.
In 2001, it is very sad, but it is it's sometimes very cold and very lonely. So as in a marriage, and even as psychedelic and crazy as the ending is, I'm just not big on Victorian rooms with giant obelisks staring me down for excitement and romance.
I can't do that, Dave.
See? Can't have sex with that computer as much as I want to. So that's my marry, fuck, kill.
Can I add a little bit to the Apollo 13?
You
I
can.
actually
Yeah.
met the guy, the duct tape guy.
Really?
He actually lives in Tennessee, next door to my cousin.
Oh, the guy that's like,
Yeah.
he figures the best
Figures the best
scene
thing.
in the whole movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a duct tape. He
Somebody
has
gets to
moon
live it.
rock. He has all of the other because they brought
What?
stuff down to him, and so he has Medal of Honors. He's met all.
Oh,
the
you mean in
presidents.
real life?
In real life.
Not in the movie. He was
No,
the
no.
actor that played.
No, this is the
No.
better version.
This is the real
like the
person.
real hero.
I was like, oh, it's that some actor guy.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
like,
Oh, cool, you know an
This
actor.
guy was one of the 3 guys to come up
that
with.
is
Doing-
the
so,
coolest thing
when you said
ever.
Apollo
Do all
13, I
3 of
wanted
them
to
live
say
together
that.
now? There's like, well, we're never going to live this down, so we just got to hang out.
Exactly.
with
You're
each
just gonna
other,
hang out
you know?
forever.
Oh, he's hilarious. Funny guy who reminds me of a very American white-haired Mr. Bean.
Holy shit! You just described the funniest looking person ever.
Seriously.
Yeah,
He looks
that very
just
much
like
confused me when I tried to think about that.
He just
The
never
white-haired
he never
American
speaks.
that. Yes.
Guys,
I
thank
have
you
photos.
for coming on and talking about space twice.
Yes, more space all the time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. I hope you learned a lot about Space Camp and Unkillable Monsters. And if you're liking the new format of the show, let us know. Shoot us an email at blockbustersmashup@gmail.com, or hey, let us know if you prefer the old way. Either way, thanks for listening. As always, we'll be posting a new episode every other week. And if you'd like to download more episodes or check out other similar podcasts, head over to partialarc.com. That's arc with a C. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at partialarc. And if you'd like to follow up with CJ Woodring and you enjoy comedy, you can check him out at funny-shorts.com. And if you want to follow up with Mel, you can do that on Twitter and Instagram at M4PR_Mel. And be sure to follow up with Todd on Twitter and Instagram at TG11. Thanks for listening, and see you on the next episode of Blockbuster Smash Up.
Let's go home.